Capricorn, welcome to the Astroflower. Well, this is going to be a monthly reading for you for May. I've done the collective as well, and that I'm calling it Moving May actually, because things are now starting to move. They're really starting to get into swing into this new dimension, and this logical revolution is happening all over the place. I've even heard. In the UK, I think it was the government that sort of said, common sense government, and they're branding it like that. And this is part of the logical revolution as we go forward. And I think it's going to play a big role in people's lives. And also, I would like to say that everyone seems to be in the third week there. Seems to be something happening in the third week. I reckon between the 17th or the 14th and the 21st. That's that third week there. I think there's something going on there where it's going to be a real spike of something because it seems to come out of the blue. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Obviously, I'm going to be clarifying with some other tarots, the White Witch Tarot, and putting some other tarots for the initial layout. Here's your overall energies. Here's the karmic message for your relationship side, karmic message for your material side, week 1, 2, 3, and 4 on both sides. And this is how the universe influences this karmic message. This is how your past self influences your karmic message. And this is how your future self is egging you on and the overall outcome. So we sort of read it two ways within the card. Okay. I'd like to say as well that I'm teaming up with another channel called Veritas Tarot with Victoria, who reads over there. And we're going to be answering questions that you can ask us on a live reading. The link is in the description below. You've got to go over there and you'll find all the information of how that go about that sort of thing. She's a wonderful reader. I think it's going to be great fun. So you're going to want to subscribe so then you know when it's coming up. So subscribe to Veritas Tarot as well. And we're going to have some real fun on that sort of fun. It's going to be very interesting. Let's just get in for you then the overall energies for this week, this month here. 8 of Cups, so it's walking away from someone or something, and it's walking towards something. It's walking towards happiness, basically, I think. It's walking towards the sun. It's going on a journey. I think it's the case here is now you sort of know where you've got to go. And when you know where you've got to go, obviously you're going to have to sort of go towards it. So that means you're going to have to walk away from certain things. But it doesn't necessarily mean, and this, I think this is for the majority of people, but the more majority of Capricorns, but it doesn't mean walking away from something per se. It means more of a case of walking towards something. I think that's more of it. Going on a discovery about you, basically. Going on a discovery about you. Some of you could be a case of actually walking away from something that could well be toxic or the end of a job or something like that. But it's I think it's if you realise that actually it's a blessing in disguise, you can then start walking towards your heart's desires. And I think it's more of a case of that, walking towards the sunshine in your life. We've got the Queen of Pentacles on the karmic message on your relationship side. So the Queen of Pentacles is sort of assurance about where you're going. So and knowing where you're going and knowing from past of where you're going and having the resources in order to go there. So I think emotionally, physically, spiritually, you're in a good place in order to sort of like follow your path, what you believe to be good relationships, following your path of how you connect with the people that are around you. And this could be within your couple or any future couple, but this could also be within your family and your friends and stuff like that. But it's this sort of assurance that's sort of flowing through you. There's a newfound purpose in your life, I think. And you get the King of Pentacles as well. How brilliant is that? And this is what the sort of thing you're walking towards. This is what I think you realise that now. And it might have been difficult to start the journey because of what's been going on with Pluto over the last sort of like 15 years in your life. and it's almost kind of like, oh, no, I have to pick myself up again. But here is different. And this is a different cycle. And you know that this cycle here is not going to stop on its evolutionary and upward journey. There may be a bit of a sort of like a bit of a sort of, several steps back during November, December, January, that sort of period there. But then after that, it's just, 20 steps forwards and 2 or 3 steps back. After that, you're just going to be heading off. And the universe here is trying to sort of like, not only is the Queen of Pentacles, so it's this understanding or that sort of karmic message of sort of saying to you, you know this, you've got that assurance within you. And the universe is backing you up and sort of saying, because of what you've studied or what you've learnt basically within relationships in the past has given you this assurance, but also given you this almost power, weight of position, as it were, and having a certain control over your emotions now, much more so than in the past. It's good to have emotions as well. Even if you're peed off with something, you're peed off with something. You can't change that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the driving motor behind you, but it's also sometimes it's good to tell people if you don't agree. So I think it's good to express all types of emotions. I don't look at emotions in a negative or positive way. I look at emotions in a way that you're expressing what you're supposed to be expressing at the time you're supposed to be expressing it. Did that come out all right? It certainly did, didn't it? Wow, brilliant. So the universe here is also sort of, and in the first week here is feeling that in the first week of May, and the universe is backing you up with that. 9 of Cups. Everybody's been getting the 9 of Cups at the moment. It's all about following your heart's desires, creativity, exploring all those sort of beautiful gifts in life, exploring the beautiful gifts in yourself as well. And because it comes from the past, I think this is something that you've been cultivating for some time, as I was saying earlier on. And I think this decision to walk forward towards your dreams and aspirations has been made within you from a long time. It's just a case of timing, position, etc., and having things around you so it actually goes in that sort of direction there. All of a sudden now, you've now got that confidence, certainly within the first week, and it's tying into your karmic message or your karmic path that you're supposed to go down. And these beautiful things that are gifts that are coming up on the surface, it's a bit like this, in the second week, you're going to be kind of going, wow, I worked on that some time ago, and now it's come back up, and oh yeah, wow, that's presenting a really good opportunity. And I think there's opportunities within your friends, family, community, within your couple as well. There's no doubt about it. I don't necessarily think it's a good time to be meeting a new love, as it were. Certainly, you don't appear to be putting it out there. It may turn up, but you don't seem to be the one driving this. So it could well be an opportunity when someone comes to you and expresses their sort of feelings for you, which opens everything up. But I think it's more of a case of, it does come from the outside world rather than coming from you. I don't think you're necessarily going after it. And then we get the Queen of Wands. How powerful is that month in regards to your relationships? I think it's going to set the tune for the next few years for you in a way. The Queen of Wands is all about, this is the third week, and this is where I said something was coming in from the outside world. Everyone seems to be affected in this third week. I think you're going to sort of float by it really more than anything else. But the Queen of Wands is all about passionate about what is going on underneath your feet, really here and now, and getting involved in the magical part of life, the magic of the existence, or the magic of meeting people, new people, discovering new things, exploring your happiness, exploring that moment that kind of going, wow, look at that sandwich. It's the most amazing sandwich I've ever been. It's just being infused about the moment that's within you here in the third week. And I think this has also got to do with these gifts as well. It's bringing you a multitude of moments where you're just going to be really infused about it as you walk towards something new. And this is what you're walking towards. It's walking out with the old and in with the new. And it's also very passionate idea, passionate direction. And with that direction, you're going to get that sense of victory, as if like you're advancing in life for once. You know, I laugh because I'm Capricorn as well. You know, so it's a case here of like, you know, I think here in the overall outcome of it, it's as if like it's that moment that the cannonball is coming out of the cannon. It's really got that puff of smoke as well. So it's like, poof, as if you're really coming out passionately about life. And it may well be sort of like, you may get this sort of sensation kind of going, Cappy's back, you know, sort of scenario. You're going to feel there's a lot of youth and joy in all of this, but it's joy built out of assurance of feeling comfortable with who you are, comfortable with where you're going, and no one's going to move you off that path. And that's why I think here is walking towards something rather than walking away from something. Okay? And it's walking towards something that's really going to be passionate. And it could well be a passionate meeting with another person. But I think it's being passionate about you and how you interact with other people around you in May. So it's whatever it is, it's very strong and powerful this month of May for you. Very, very strong and powerful. On your financial side, on your material side, this is to do with your jobs, your business, and your project. Your karmic message here is saying you've got abundance. And I think this is true. I think this is a lot of things coming in for you at this present time. It's as almost you've been held back on elastics. You know, people are holding you back. The world, the universe has been holding you back. And all of a sudden, the elastics have snapped. And you're just kind of going, right, I'm here. Sort of scenario. That's what it feels like. And you're going to feel like you've got all the possibilities within you, within the world around you. And that's not just finances. It's also the ideas. It's also the energy, the position, the persona, everything that runs with it that makes you just feel absolutely on top of the world in regards of what you're doing in your financial sort of state. And you get the Page of Pentacles, so it's learning about these longer cycles. And in the material world, this is really important. So if I was going to learn about nature, I've got to understand what autumn is, what winter is, what spring is, what summer is, and what each season brings me, according to what plants and stuff like that. And it's learning about those longer term cycles so I can get the best out of life. And in this first week, because of these abundance that's coming into you, you may be, you know, you're working on the longer term plan by the looks of it. And it's a case of sort of saying, how do I get the best out of the opportunities or the situations or the abundance that is around me in this month? And that's what you're working out this week here. In the second week, you got the Three of Swords. Obviously, if it was on this side, it would be about a relationship and difficulty and pains and everything like that. But for this side, this is about your past as well. Your past self is advising you. I think you're taking out the emotions out of the situation. So basically, you know, I've had healing schools. I've had healing centers in France. I've been doing it over the last sort of like 20, 30 years. And I was really, really passionate about it. And almost in a way, I was too passionate about it. And then Pluto turned up in Capricorn and it, you know, it created a whole new sort of vibration. And I was too passionate about it. And I wasn't serious enough in the way of finances and business and the way we do things and stuff like that. And it's coming back round for me personally, because I'm a Capricorn as well. And it's this time now is I'm taking out the emotions attached to it. So it's actually a lot easier to be practical and also get, you know, to advance in life in the material world. And I think this is what this is saying to you here. If you want to go forward to something that's going to provide for you in the future, and I think it's going to make you incredibly happy for the moment, and in this month here, in order to get moving on, taking out the emotions out of the situation. And then all of a sudden, you're going to find that you're starting a whole new cycle, which is, you know, learning about that longer term cycle, which is the Page of Pentacles as well. It's a lucky card as well. So there is a certain degree of luck coming your way as well. But yeah, it's taking out the emotions of the situation, basically. And then the third week, you've got the Ace of Cups, so putting those emotions back in. I think if you take the emotions out here, I think the second week of May is a question of taking the emotions out so you can actually really size up the situation around you. So size up the idea of a new job, of a new business or a project and stuff like that. How things are going, what direction you want to be taking it in. We've all got pet loves and stuff like that, but sometimes they may not be the one that's bringing in the bringing in the ham, as it were, or whatever it is, bringing in the vegetables. So I think this week here is sort of like taking yourself out of the emotional sort of like side of things, about sort of like looking for a job or business and stuff like that. And then in the third week, you're going to be able to choose exactly, or not choose, but to see what is so evident for you to put your time and effort into, but also put your passions and your love into. And being passionate and just being emotional about something is a little bit different. And it's a case here, and this is your future self as well, is if you put the passions into it, the universe is going to give you back fivefold. So you're putting forward to this sort of like this cup and, or tenfold. So you're going to get the 10 of cups in return. The happiness after difficulty. And I think this is generally across the board for you, actually, Capricorn, for the next sort of like quite a few years, actually. So I think this is what, in a way, you're walking towards as well. Of putting your passions out there and getting the answers back and getting constructive progression in your life. Okay, and then we got the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is also generally we sort of say healing and stuff like that, and sort of like recuperation and stuff like that. But it's also it's also reassurance. And in this in the fourth week, by the end of May, I think you're going to be reassured about life, about your material world, about where you're going. It's almost going to be like sort of kind of going, now I'm starting to feel that assurance coming through. And it's a very progressional thing after something that might be difficult in the second week. It might be something difficult within your financial world. It could well be for some of you, losing a job, as I said at the beginning, or losing your business. But then again, the reason you're losing it is because there's something better out there. And that's what that Ace of Cups is. You've got to make that space in order for that Ace of Cups to come in. And that's what's going to give that progressional thing from the Three of Swords to the Four of Swords, that progressional thing of actually feeling a lot more secure about your future. So yeah, and I think moving May is literally moving on for you, Capricorn, and moving to the next level. The Moon. Are you walking into the unknown? I don't think so. What I do think is it's going to it feels like the overall energy is taking you on a journey that you are discovering a lot of things that you may not have seen before, or that you may not have looked at life in that particular way. And now it's because you're walking towards your happiness or walking towards your goals, it's going to reveal a lot of things that you wouldn't have seen before. With the Queen of Pentacles, you've got the Ten of Swords. As I said earlier on, I think you've realised something. And I think that Queen of Pentacles is almost sort of like that insurance, that knowledge, as I say, of knowing where you're going, and those painful part of life at the end of Pluto that you might have had over the next last 6 months. It's come to an end. It's done and dusted. It's over with, and you should know that within your path, and do not sort of have those doubts within you. That's what it's saying here with the Ten of Swords. the Queen of Pentacles is definitely trumping the Ten of Swords. No, and it's more of a case of sort of going, that is the past. That's what you've learned from. With the Ten of Pentacles, you get the Justice. Yeah, justice, harmony. Also, reason that what you've been doing in the past, you might have been in conflictual sort of situations, or you might have had relationships that were sort of like a bit sticky, a bit difficult. And now you're coming out the other side, and with that sort of seating in the power, in your own power, because that's what it is. Capricorn is very much, the Queen and King of Pentacles. It's very much it's certainly an earth sign, but it's, it corresponds very well with Capricorn. And it's realizing that this is where you should be going, because it's making you feel like you're at home and at one with yourself. A bit like what we see with the Four of Swords, and it could well be justice, according to an argument or something like that, or a relationship that might have been difficult in the past. You're going to get your just desserts, as it were. With the Ten of Cups, you get the King of Pentacles, King of Wands, sorry. And you got the Queen of Wands up there. Look at this. This is amazing, actually. Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, King of Wands, Queen of Wands. Whatever happens here, and I think this has to do with moving and doing things, socializing in a very active way, which comes from you, where you purposely get involved in other people, is going to build a lot of passions, but it's also going to make you realize that actually you've got a lot of possibilities around you. A lot of creative things within your life. And the King of Wands is a bit of a leader, and I think it's leading from your past. And this is what brings in that, it comes from that confidence there, and that justice, and realizing that you've done the good work in the past, and that's what stands you out. That's what makes you different, Capricorn. And that's what gives you that power to actually go forward. With the Queen of Wands, we get the Ace of Swords. I thought we had the Ace of Swords, but it's the Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords. There's a whole brand new beginning coming out at the top here. Ace of Swords is dispelling the mist around your goals and objectives. So this is it's similar sort of thing with the Ace of Cups. You're finding this sort of like victory because you're getting on and doing it. A little bit like as well the Ace of Wands here. And it also sort of like dispels the mist, so you can see clearly your obstacles as well. And being passionate about the moment is going to make you, it's going to breed a lot of ideas and a lot of sort of possibilities within your life. With the Ace of Wands, you get the Page of Wands. So learning about this new passion, out with the old and in with the new. And the Page of Wands here is learning that whole sort of how you apply your passions in your life, how you apply your passions in your relationships that are around you, which is going to give you that sort of fiery sort of, yes, let's live life sort of scenario that comes out at the end of the week in regards to your relationships that are around you. So playing with your passions or playing with your passionate side about life at the end of the week will be really, by the end of the month, is really good for you before we go into the June period. Let's just see what's going on in your material world. So, lovely. Temperance. Okay. You have this abundance, but don't sort of like frivolously spend it. Don't just sort of like go gun-ho, basically. I think this is a case of knowing when to, and this is what ties into the learning about the longer term cycle as well. What to invest in and what not to invest in. What to invest in regards to a job or business and projects and stuff like that. It's going to be a case where you've got these possibilities, but, or the abundance with you. Like, it could be energy, it could be physical force, it could even be, say, like the materials that you need in order to do a particular job or project or business. You've got those. Now it's a case here of this month here as being how you spend your energy, or you invest your time, or invest your resources into things. Don't just go jumping in there. Being very patient about it all. I think taking your time with the Page of Pentacles. We got the Queen of Wands, which is over on this side as well. And I think this is that learning curve here. These two here is all about that learning curve here of walking towards something and discovering things that are unseen within you. And all of a sudden, we got the Queen of Pentacles again. So it's learning about that sort of being. When you're passionate about something, it just makes life very magical. And I think this is where you're going to sort of, in the first week here, within your financial sort of, or your material world, you're going to realize that there's actually, life is really magical and it's great to be part of it. In the second week, you got the Six of Wands. I think this is possibly maybe in the second week here, it could be a job you're walking away from, could be a business you're walking away from. It could even be a project that you're walking away from, or an offer of a job that you're walking away from, because you're worth much more than that. And taking your righteous place on your path, and I think it's going to bring in a lot of success. If you have this control over your emotions as well, which I was saying here, I think that's what's going to bring you in the success, bring you in the recognition of the world that is around you from other people that you respect as well. Let's just see what's going on with this Ace of Cups. So what's this thing that you're offering, or the world or the universe is offering you? The Nine of Pentacles, almost the completion of the Ten of Pentacles there. This is all to do with your past as well. This is all to do with what you've done in the past, and this realization of knowing your righteous place, which is the Six of Wands, and actually living it and doing it and building that respect that people are going to give you respect. All of a sudden you're going to realize, because you're offering your heart to something, because you're opening up to a project or a business emotionally a little bit, in the way of how you're really putting your emotions into certain things and not into everything, you're going to realize that there's a lot of things from the past that are actually going to be providing, that are coming together now in order for that Ace of Cups to really happen for you and provide a huge amount of possibilities for you. With the Four of Swords, you get the Six of Swords. Rite of passage. So you got two sixes here, and I think this is where you're going on the right path. I think this here in the third week, I think there's something that comes up here. It's almost like it could well be an offering from outside here, and it's something that because of what you've done in the past, this is why you're being offered this for this future, and it's giving you that sensation of healing, of recuperation, of really this is right on the right path. And you've got that Six of Swords where, the universe or your guides and everything like that are really just helping you to move on into the month of June. And it's also, you got the Six of Wands here. So it's got a double six in there, and it's really starting to sort of confirm a lot of things in it within you, that assurance where you know where you're going, and that abundance that you got, and learning about that longer term plan is really going to start coming together and I think it's going to make a lot more sense for you in the going future, as you've discovered a lot of things that may have well been unseen as you've headed off onto that path. There you go, Capricorn. It is a real moving month for you, as for everybody, and we can see that in the collective reading as well, which I love doing on the collective consciousness, the readings on that, and it's you've taken this on board, and you're heading down that path, and I wouldn't stop if I was you. Don't forget, we've got those live readings coming up on Veritas Tarot with Victoria. It's linked in the description below. Get over there and subscribe, so you can ask questions for any future readings, and also you should be subscribed to this channel as well, because we're going to be doing the future readings on here as well. Thank you very much for your support. I hope you got the best out of this reading, Capricorn. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.